Welcome back to my channel. My name's Audrey. I'm 19 years old and I am on the autistic spectrum. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss one of my lovely videos. So let's get started. So today's video, we're going to talk about autism and meltdowns. So first I'm going to cover the cause of a meltdown. So for me personally and a lot of people, it can be from being overwhelmed. It can be from an item, and often with these items, it's, again, from something pre-caused. So oversensitized, overwhelmed, lack of sleep, lack of self-care, anxiety, anger, a feeling. So they come from something. But often with a meltdown, you can be at a restaurant and it's too loud and you break down and you have a meltdown. You could be at the airport, you get overwhelmed, or you see something and you can't have it and you can't get it. And it's also different for different phases of life. You can have a meltdown with a kid at school because it just got too much. It's all different for all different age ranges. And as I've gotten older, it's become more about food. Or I can't have something, or life is just crazy and I'm overwhelmed and I just need a good meltdown, or I just need to be angry and I throw a fit. And Audrey, so I forgot to mention with these instances, with these scenarios, again, there's a root cause. Like if you're in Target, you have a meltdown because you can't get it. You're often having that meltdown because you're also oversensitized, or you have a meltdown about whatever, and there's a root cause of the meltdown, but it shows up in this particular thing. So, for instance, the pancakes. Yes, was pancakes a cause of this? But oftentimes, there's also root emotions building up in this meltdown. So, sometimes they come out of the blue, for instance, the pancakes, but oftentimes, meltdowns like in public, in scenarios, they often have a cause of an emotion, being overwhelmed, oversensitized, and then that meltdown can show up in that thing, whatever it might be. So I hope that helped. I have a meltdown, and then after I'm done, I'm better. So that's kind of what a meltdown. So I'm going to kind of share some of my recent meltdowns to kind of give you an example on what a meltdown is like now that you can see the pre-cause of a meltdown. So to go over a pre-cause is being what causes a meltdown: oversensitized, overwhelmed, angry, lack of sleep, sad, tired, happy, any emotion. And sometimes they just come out of the blue. You see something and then it just upsets you. Also, being stuck about one thing. Like, for instance, I want a new shirt and I don't have money for the new shirt. So I asked my dad for this new shirt, and I am stuck on getting this new shirt. And I will do anything to get this new shirt. So then causes a fit and then a meltdown. And there can be a difference between a fit and a meltdown because sometimes they come together, especially when it's off like a stuck, an anger, and it kind of comes into one, if that makes sense. So they can be caused about anything. Sometimes you can be in the middle of the street and you just have a meltdown. Again, also, when I say that there's a difference between a fit and a meltdown. So a fit is a choice, and a meltdown can be caused by a root, as I said. And sometimes you get in your meltdown and you get so involved in that particular thing and you get so stuck on it after that, and you spiral, and then it turns into a fit. And you get over that. For me, I had this phase where I can be like, calm down, and like have the meltdown, let it happen, and then just choose calm down, and then it escalates into a fit. So I will be talking about in another video once the difference between a fit and a meltdown, but often for me personally, it starts at an anger and it turns into a fit and also a meltdown. So sometimes it goes from meltdown to fit. So when you allow the emotion to happen, you have the meltdown, and then you keep going. And then it escalates to this ginormous fit. But once it escalates to a fit, you have a choice on how to react. You have a choice to make that. But once you get to that point where it's no turning back, it kind of turns in back to a meltdown, because then your emotion and all that anger and that fit kind of turns into one, and you kind of lose control. So you have to catch yourself like around here before it fully escalates. And that's something I've struggled with my whole life. So sometimes a fit and a meltdown, it can start a fit into a meltdown and like come together. And there's different ways that it can turn into a meltdown to a fit to a meltdown, if that makes sense. A meltdown since I couldn't have pizza and I really wanted pizza. I've had a meltdown because there's no food in the fridge and I'm hungry and I'm tired. I've had a meltdown because I'm tired and it just bugged. I've had a meltdown that I had pancakes getting delivered with my groceries, and I always have frozen pancakes for breakfast with the sausage. And instead of getting the frozen pancakes, I got mixed pancakes. And to the average person, not a big deal, right? You're just going to have to work it out. You can change out the pancakes, get a new box, just do one. But to me, it's an alert. Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to have my same breakfast. The world is going to be crashing down. Everything's just going to crash down, because it's common for routine to be something autism. So when your routine makes off, so that's caused by a routine and the lack of the fear of not having that routine. So I hope this kind of explained. I've also had meltdowns that I've gotten mad at a friend, a family member, and sometimes I have found you're just from the third time. Also, I forgot to mention during this part, when you're angry at something again and there's a root cause from this anger, it's truly from frustration, from maybe you fought and then it escalates, and it's more likely a fit. Sometimes it's hard to tell which is a fit and a meltdown, and a lot of times those fit and meltdowns mix together, as I said. So sometimes I get mad at my family member because I just need to melt down, and that's it. And I don't really get mad at friends. That doesn't happen very often. I don't know why I said that. But I just need to melt down, and I just choose to melt down at that person, and that's not a healthy way to do it, but sometimes that happens, and sometimes I just angry and I throw a fit at that person. So there is a difference. There is a choice in these differences, and sometimes it's just a meltdown. A meltdown, again, is not a choice. A fit is a choice. So I hope that maybe then they come together. So I hope this helped. You guys understand. I hope you guys learned something. I hope maybe this makes you feel you're not alone. Meltdowns are often about silly things, and it's also frustrating when you realize once you're older, I'm crying about pancakes. I'm upset because these pancakes. How silly and immature is this? And you understand that's silly and immature, but it doesn't change the feeling that you're having. That's kind of what meltdowns are like. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I said this. Sometimes things just come to me, you know? Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss one of my lovely videos. Bye, guys.